Hi there, my name is Dr. Jonathan Gillard and I'm Director of Student Recruitment and Admissions for the School of Mathematics at Cardiff University. What I'm going to talk to you now is about extra years that you can add on to the vast majority of the programs we offer at Cardiff. That's the year abroad, which is exactly what it says in the tin. You spend a year abroad studying, and the work placement, the placement year, where you spend a year in paid employment gaining hugely valuable experience. So I'll kick off by talking about the placement year, work placements then, as we call them. So why do these come about? Well, you will naturally gain, through studying mathematics, a huge array of skills which are massively in demand. Examples of these will include intellectual rigor and reasoning skills. You'll be very familiar with numeracy and symbolic thinking. Your problem-solving skills will be second to none, and you'll have a logical and rigorous approach to that as well. And you'll be able to model things, and you'll have abstraction skills as well. Now, those on their own are a huge, huge skill set that you could offer any employer, and those skills are massively in demand. Now, if you just study mathematics on its own, then you might be missing out on some of the other softer skills that employers would desire. So, for example, some commercial awareness or report writing in a business sense, leadership. These are things which may form part of your degree, but won't be there in spades. Now, how you can gain experience of these things is, of course, by doing a placement year where you're landed in industry. And then you will develop these naturally. And of course, there'll be courses that your employers will offer to make sure that you're savvy with all these things. Those soft skills are really highly valued by employers. So things like team working, leadership, being able to communicate complicated results to people without the prerequisite knowledge to necessarily understand them. Now, I'm talking about something that was described in the Wakeham Review of Graduate Employability 2016. What they say is that graduates often have the requisite skills and knowledge to succeed in industry, but they lack the ability to articulate them, particularly in applications, interviews, and assessment centres. So it's a case of how you actually describe all these fabulous skills that you've learned during the course of studying mathematics at Cardiff. How do you articulate those at a job application, interview, or an assessment centre? That's perceived to be a problem nationally in the UK. And of course, again, to repeat, then studying a placement year. So taking a year working in industry will help you hone down how you would articulate at an interview the more softer skills that are necessary as part of any job. Now, it should go without saying that work experience is going to improve your employability second to none. It's clearly valued by employers, and graduate students who have undertaken this work experience, this placement year, are going to be really engaged with thinking about the sorts of careers they like, what parts of the work experience they enjoyed and what they didn't enjoy. And they're going to be full of stories so that when they're put into an interview situation and asked, name a time when you worked in a team or name a time when you had to resolve conflict. Again, that's another part that you wouldn't really encounter during a maths degree. You've got these stories ready in your brain to talk about at interview. So what is the placement year all about? It's a year in industry. It's taken in between your second and final years. So you will study 2 years with us. You'll then go into industry and work for a year and then return to finish off your degree. They are competitive, but good students are in high demand. And it is a proper employment. So you are treated as the same as other graduate employees. You're not asked to make tea or coffees or run to the shop to get lunch or anything like that. You're a proper employee with pension rights and everything. The typical salary is in between 18,000 to 20,000, but we have had highs of 36,000 pounds as well. And the vast majority of students who undertake these work placements are offered graduate positions once they've completed their degree. And that makes sense. From an employer's perspective, these are year-long interviews, and they've also spent huge amounts of money training you up in various software packages and softer skills, which I mentioned. So if you prove to be a good investment, then of course they'll want you to return once you've completed your degree. Now, what we found is that those students that take a placement year, when they return to Cardiff and finish their degree, they do better than those students who didn't go on placement. And I don't think there's any secret why this is the case. Students that go on a work placement return more organized, motivated, and focused. They know exactly what they want to do. If they've been given a job offer with a condition, they know they have to work to satisfy that condition in order to get that job. And what we found is that placement students have improved their degree average by as much as 20 points in their final year, and that's quite significant. Now, you might ask, what sorts of places can I go on my work placement? Well, anywhere and everywhere. Maths as a career opens doors. So pharmaceutical industry, the arts, you might want to go into retail, finance, insurance. All of these industries are open for mathematicians. So to give just a list of places currently advertising for placement students, we've got BAE Systems, so that's defense, Sainsbury's, so that's retail supermarket, Intel, Alliance, GSK, pharmaceutical, Volkswagen, Roche, again, pharmaceutical, Johnson & Johnson, Disney. Just those alone give you a really good snapshot of the diversity of areas that you might be interested in going to. The problem isn't trying to find a placement; it's trying to pick which area you want to go to, and that's the challenge. You're spoiled for choice. We provide a huge amount of support in the School of Mathematics. We do everything apart from go through the door to the interview room with you. So let's give a flavour of the sort of support that we offer at the School of Mathematics. Every Tuesday and Friday at 1 p.m. in the school, we have presentations by employers and placement students. So these employers are describing the work that they do, the benefits that you could receive while you get there. And returning placement students that have been to these employers will also give a presentation. So you'll have a student's eye view on how the placement went. And even they can answer then the small but important questions, such as where did you live? How did you meet people? Did you play sport? Where's the nearest gym? How did you get back and forth to home? All these really important questions, then the returning placement students are ideal to talk to about it because they've been there and got the t-shirt. We also have then various drop-in sessions run by employers and staff. So you can sign up for things like mock interviews. We've also got a careers lounge which you can book. And so if you've got a telephone interview and you want a quiet place to partake the telephone interview, then you can book the careers lounge and do this as well. We've got a web page, and again, the problem is that you're spoiled for choice with placements, but we try and give a helping hand by taking the huge array of information on the internet, the huge number of advertised posts, and filter it down into things that we think our students would be interested in. So we have our own bespoke website, which contains placement and even graduate jobs. So we offer a listing of graduate roles that you might be interested in once you finish your degree. And this website also has lists of careers events across the university. In fact, the School of Mathematics hosts its own Careers Day as well, where employers come in specifically interested in targeting Cardiff mathematics students. In terms of supporting then for applications, CV writing and preparing for interview and maybe some of the assessment activities that you might have to do as part of an assessment centre, we have careers masterclasses and application workshops. So careers masterclasses are every Monday at 1 p.m. during the first 5 weeks of the semesters, and we'll cover things like CVs, application forms and assessment centres. To actually then help you with filling out an application form or preparing a CV, we have a number of application workshops. These are every Monday afternoon at 2 p.m. Help for careers advisors and others are there, so you can have help from staff and some of your peers. And the idea of those is bring your laptop to the room and start applying. And should you have a query or you want someone to check what you've written to make sure there's no typos and you've put the commas in the right place and that you've sold yourself appropriately, then that help is there available for you. I'll now move on to the year abroad. Well, what can you say about the year abroad? It's an adventure of a lifetime. Challenge yourself. Go somewhere that you've always wanted to go. There's huge amounts of support to help you identify where you want to go and help you to get there and make sure that you're safe and looked after whilst you're at the place. And this is your opportunity to really throw yourself into a different culture, a different lifestyle. You might want to brush up on a language that you've forgotten a little bit about. You might want to learn a new language, forge new friendships. There's no better way or time or framework to do this trip of a lifetime when you've got the full backing of the university to support you in every single way. There's massive amount of help and guidance from Cardiff University and also financial support available as well. We offer bursaries in between £200 and £2,000 depending on where you go. And you're still eligible for your maintenance loans, grants, and tuition fee discounts. Should you be worried about your travel causing unnecessary carbon, then Cardiff University is really proud to back the Regrow Borneo project, which is a tree planting operation in southern Borneo, and you can offset your carbon in Cardiff University's own carbon offsetting project. There's 1,000,001 places that you may wish to go to across the world, and Cardiff University won't stop you doing that. We've got links with over 300 institutions around the world. So recently we've had students travel to Hong Kong, New Zealand, Australia, France, Holland, Germany, everywhere in Europe. The main vehicle of choice is that, well, we ask the student, where do they really want to go? What trip of a lifetime would they envisage? Then we can identify institutions that would be a perfect fit for them. The year abroad will give you a huge amount of experience. Travel does broaden the mind. Our students return to us and say that they're almost, which sounds cliched, they're different people from when they left. And as part of doing this year abroad, throwing themselves into a different world almost, a different place, and acclimatizing to that place and how it operates, that again gives this huge, rich experience of things you can talk about in interview, which employers really, really demand and are keen on.